Joining us now from Charlotte. And Jim, there has been so much controversy at the track this year, several fights breaking out. How do the drivers feel about it being payback time?
Well, Jamie, I'll tell you, if you are currently involved in a spat or a feud with somebody, you're a little bit worried about tonight, because let's face it, somebody could take you out, wreck their car in the process. They don't care. As you said, no points on the line. Now, if you don't have any active enemies out on the racetrack, you might before the end of this one.
All right.
I think any weekend can be a payback. It depends on how ornery the driver is.
What's wrong with the other races? Yeah, those are good races too. I think you don't, if you really want to get after somebody, you don't have opportunities coming up too often, so you take them whenever you can get them.
When we get pissed in the car, when something happens, you don't think about those things. So if that switch is flipped on whoever it is, it could still happen.
Now, I'll tell you, our latest feud involves Casey Kane and Kyle Busch. That stems from Darlington last week. In fact, Kyle Busch has taken Casey out 3 different times this year. I talked to both of them yesterday. Casey says he has no plans to get even. Kyle Busch says that if Casey exacts a little bit of revenge tonight, Jamie, he will understand.
All right, Jimmie Johnson won last year's All-Star race, but he had a rough time qualifying yesterday. What exactly happened?
Well, qualifying was wild yesterday. A little bit different for the All-Star race. They do 3 laps, come down and do a pit stop in the middle of it with no pit road speed. Normally during a race, they have to slow down to 55 miles per hour. Last night, they were hitting pit road at 150 miles per hour. And Jimmie Johnson simply locked up his brakes and slid through his pit. He had to back up. That cost him a ton of time. Jimmie Johnson will start 18th tonight, which shouldn't be a big deal. The All-Star race is 90 laps, broken up into 5 segments, and Jimmy knows how to strategize this one, Jamie. He's won it 3 times, including last year.
All right, our own All-Star, Jim Noble from Charlotte. Thank you so much.
Barry Melrose on the forecheck as we talk Western Conference playoff. For what to watch for this weekend in Alabama, the Sprint Cup Series at Talladega. That means fantastic finishes. 5 of the last 6 Talladega races have been decided with a last lap pass. Denny Hamlin expected to return. Jim Noble with more on that.
The plan is simple. The execution more complicated. Denny Hamlin, back injury and all, will start Sunday's Sprint Cup race at Talladega, then pop out of a specially installed roof hatch at the earliest opportunity and give way to relief driver Brian Vickers.
I'm the most unenthusiastic person when it comes to super speedway practice, racing, much less practicing. But last night it was tough to sleep knowing that I was going to get back in the car for the first time.
Everything for right now, we're just planning on going to the first caution, just whenever that is. Make sure we don't lose too much time on pit road, but if Denny has any discomfort whatsoever, we'll bring him in early.
You probably know far more than I do. I don't even know now. So honestly, I went through that the first couple weeks while and I was just like, you know what, I just stay out of it.
There is significant risk for Hamlin. Talladega has been the scene of some of NASCAR's most violent wrecks, and Hamlin knows the big one could happen at any time.
It definitely can happen. We've seen it here at this racetrack on lap 1. We've seen it on the last lap. I'm obviously going to put myself in what I believe is a safe position. You can't help things like blown tires or whatever that could possibly happen, but the equivalency of our risk this weekend will be taking a knee.
You may ask, why would Denny Hamlin risk further injury, perhaps career-endangering injury, by jumping back into this race car so soon? Hamlin says it is simple. He thinks he can still win races and get into the postseason, adding, "Our chase starts now." At Talladega Superspeedway, Jim Noble, ESPN.
All right, thank you, Jim. In 2010, Hamlin returned from a torn ACL, won 4 of his first 9 races back. NASCAR Nationwide Series.